So just what happened at the Nevada Democratic State Convention earlier this month? State party officials, they've blasted the Sanders campaign for what they saw as a slow, tepid response to the chaos that played out. California Senator and Hillary Clinton supporter Barbara Boxer, she came on our program and said that she was there. She was speaking before them. She said she was trying to calm the crowd. She was booed off the stage and said she feared for her safety at that convention.
But Bernie Sanders campaign manager Jeff Weaver told me last night, told us again just a few minutes ago, he has issues with the senator's version of what happened because of this video looking at right now showing the senator blowing kisses to the crowd there. So Senator Barbara Boxer joins us right now. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to get to the back and forth between you and Jeff Weaver in just a moment. But first, I want to get to the breaking news. We just learned a short time ago the State Department's Inspector General report, its review of the whole email issue, has determined that Hillary Clinton did not comply with the State Department rules when it comes to her use of a private email server at the State Department. Your reaction to this report?
Well, what you're leaving out of that is the State Department's, this IG report states in its conclusion that every single Secretary of State did the same thing. And I have it here. I'm not reading it. I want to show your viewers. This is the conclusion. They don't even mention Hillary's name. They basically say the Department of State and the Office of the Secretary, since Colin Powell, did not follow the exact rules of preserving the electronic communications. So I think that's the key here for Hillary. I'm feeling,
but Senator,
as I read this,
the other secretaries of state are not running for president.
No, let me just finish the point. What I want to say is what we now know is this has been a systemic problem, period, all through since Colin Powell. And people can take that to heart. Hillary has stated, looking back on it, she should have done things differently. She did hand over 55,000 emails, which, by the way, her predecessors destroyed all their personal emails. So, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, when people read the conclusion, what they'll find out is that the Department of State and the Office of the Secretary of State, going back to Colin Powell, did not keep and retain these records, print out each email, keep them in a file, and hopefully going forward, which is what the Inspector General says, they will do so.
It does not concern you, even as it definitely will be a problem on, will be an issue that her opponents will bring up. Let's get to.
Well, let me just put it this way: all the opponents try to do is tear down Hillary Clinton. I could just tell you, after reading the entire report and focusing on it, this is what I said in the beginning: a bologna sandwich, because all of them did the wrong thing. Hillary is the only one to hand over any emails, and she apologized for it. So
it was more critical. It was more critical, to be fair. It was more critical of Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server than any of the other Secretary of States. It distinguished her actions.
That's all well and good, but the bottom line is the bottom line. Look, we live in a world that has a lot of issues in it. And when you read a conclusion of a taxpayer-funded report, and it doesn't even mention the secretary by name, I think you can gather that this is a systemic problem. And by the way, it's a problem. Hillary has stated it as she looked back. And so I'm sure now Secretary Kerry is retaining any and all personal emails if he uses those.
Right.
So, Senator, Jeff Weaver, Sanders' campaign manager, was on here. When you were on on this program, you said you had feared for your safety.
Yes.
He questioned that in several different ways. He said it to John last night. Again this morning, he said the fact that you say you feared for your safety, then you contemptuously, he said, were blowing kisses as you were leaving the stage. He says that doesn't match up.
Well, I don't know why Mr. Weaver, whom I don't know, wants to pick a fight with me. I'm a really good friend of Bernie's, and I called Bernie on the phone, and we had a very warm conversation. And I told Bernie 50 to 100 of his supporters were out of control. They were 6 feet from me. I think I described it to you when we did our interview. And it was extremely intimidating, and it was a frightening situation. And I feared for my safety because, frankly, they were so close to me. I don't know what they could have done. Could they have thrown something? Could they have rushed the stage? I didn't know what was going to happen. But here's the thing. I want to set the stage because it's critical. Before I spoke, I walked into the room, and it was out of control. And a very nice state senator tried to calm things down. He was introducing me to no avail. And then they even called up a Bernie Sanders supporter to try and get the people to move back and to be quiet. That didn't work. Now, at that point, I could have walked away. But, you know, I'm tough and I don't do that. I thought, you know, I can get this under control. I couldn't. Right. I tried. I said, look, I'm a friend of Bernie's. Bernie's asked for civility. While I was on that stage, remember, I was there to represent Hillary Clinton, and they had thousands of people in that room who I couldn't really hear, and I said a few nice things about my candidate, Hillary Clinton. Right. The fact that she had won Nevada fair and square, that made them even worse. And finally, remember, there were obscene things being shouted at me, which I think are on the tape, unfortunately, and obscene gestures. At that point, the security escorted me down off the stage. I no longer feared for my safety. I was headed to the exit, and they were following me with more of these vile comments. I used a sense of humor, and I blew them kisses. And if Mr. Weaver doesn't have a sense of humor, I don't know. I just tried to diffuse it every way I could. Let me be clear. I did not diffuse the situation. So where are we now? Why are we looking back? I say to Mr. Weaver, we need to be working to win this election, to unify, not go back and pick fights with one another. And I'm not picking a fight with him. He wasn't there, you know?
Senator, there are some senators suggesting on Capitol Hill that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is not the best pick right now to continue to lead the Democratic Party heading into the convention. Jeff Weaver, moments ago, your friend Jeff Weaver, told us that perhaps a different person would be better. Your reaction?
My reaction is, who are these senators? Who are they?
Well, Claire McCaskill just moments ago to Manu Raju, did not give a full-throated defense of Debbie Wasserman Schultz. He essentially suggested maybe someone else.
You just said that there are senators calling for her to resign. I haven't heard of that. I'm here, I'm with my colleagues. No one has said it. And in all the meetings I've been in terms of looking forward, because the women senators are hoping to do a presentation, like we usually do, at the convention. Wherever Debbie or her staff has been, they have been so fair to both sides. And I've marveled at that. They've been really good. So I don't see what the problem is with Debbie. I really don't. And I don't know why we would. She's in a difficult situation, She's the chair at a time
senators are saying that she may be getting too toxic, you do not agree.
You have 30 seconds
what
left.
Senators are saying that she's too toxic? Tell me who.
Manu Raju is speaking to senators on the Hill. He's a fabulous reporter. I know. They're speaking to him in confidence. I know you know Manu Raju is a very good reporter.
Well, let me just tell you, after years and years of 40 years in elected life, if you believe something, look in the camera and say it. Don't do some anonymous, don't quote me, because you know what? That's wrong. If somebody has a problem with Debbie, chapter and verse, what is it? I have watched her handle a very difficult primary, and I think one of the problems in life is everybody says, oh, it's all this one's fault, or it's that one's fault. We're all human beings. We're trying to make the best of a difficult primary process, which is winding down. I know I have to stop. Thank you.
Senator Barbara Boxer, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you all for joining us at this hour.
Legal View with Ashley Banfield starts now.